Congratulations! You're gonna meet a VC to show your startup. You're gonna be examined and scrutinized in a whole new way, and it's gonna be hard. We're gonna actually talk about that whole process, why we built Deep Dive, and Nick and I, we're gonna share some sort of our inner thoughts around that whole process. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Deep Dive channel. Deep Dive helps founders like you analyze your business like VCs like us. Now, today's episode, I'm pretty excited because it kind of comes from the heart. It goes into why we built Deep Dive and why we're giving it out to founders for free. Well, first, it was selfish. Nick, how many hours have you spent in Excel working models for analysis?
Let's put it like that. Every single time we would run the numbers of a business, take me about 4 to 8 hours, half to a full working day. Usually it wouldn't be in the day, it'd be late nights, weekends that I'd be building out these dashboards. And maybe we even be getting data files so large that I couldn't even process them within Excel. So this is where Deep Dive has been a complete life changer for myself.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you another question. How many mistakes did you make in Excel?
Never, Conrad, never. No, definitely a lot of flimsy little mistakes that will come up and someone, points out to you and creates for some very embarrassing moments for myself.
Yeah, so that's actually why we built Deep Dive. We built Deep Dive because this was a repeated process that we were doing ourselves. And then there was like a eureka moment like, hey, why shouldn't we just have our founders use this? It would be beneficial to them. And when they feel ready, they can share their data with us and other VCs. And it doesn't have to be exclusive to us. So, I think that started a kind of an inward-looking process where we were asking, what is it like being on the other side of a headline venture capital due diligence process? And we wanted to make our founder experience even better, right? So, Nick, you've met so many founders. What is it like when you talk to them? What are they feeling? Especially all of this new world that they're about to do, talking to you.
One of the greatest privileges of my job is that I get to speak to founders who are usually subject experts in the various industries that they are building in. And by that selection bias, therefore usually aren't financial experts. And, they get to educate me on a lot of the, kind of product market opportunities that they're going after, where when it comes to telling, hey, how is the business performing from a financial perspective, they often aren't as confident or are usually not able to educate me. And this is where giving them, supercharging them with a platform like Deep Dive is supercharging us at Headline, is actually incredibly helpful for them, given that they don't need to go out and learn what all the various metrics that a VC wants to learn about. How do I calculate these? Who should I hire to do this? But they can just simply give their raw data to Deep Dive. It does the job for them and have everything they would ever need within one single dashboard.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. There's a lot to actually recognize and celebrate that maybe even the founder doesn't know about. I mean, the product is flying off the shelf, so to speak.
Absolutely. So Deep Dive doesn't just run the numbers for you, but it also is opinionated, right? We run the numbers in a certain way and then have in quite a few of the metrics, I think it's almost a dozen today, this is what we call a flag chart. It's green, best-in-class behavior, white, kind of average, to red, which we see as rather, you still have some work to do, and to see where your data series growing within this. And what we're looking at here is the cumulative gross profit over CAC chart. We also call it internally the core ratio chart, where we basically look at how much customer lifetime value, cumulative gross profit, is a business generating out of their customers versus how much is the cost of business to acquire the customers in the first place, and how long does it take for the business to pay back those customer acquisition dollars. In this case, you can see it takes about 7 months for the business to pay back their customer acquisition spend, and it continues to grow from there, where we see best-in-class behavior being 12-month payback, getting to a 3x within 3 years. And this really just shows a founder visually, do they have metrics that they can be proud of, the ones that they should be putting forward, given that this is really where they're excelling, but also knowing what are their skeletons in their closet, where are the things that they need to improve upon, and not just make strategic decisions, but when they're pitching to investors, knowing where the hard questions are going to come from.
Yeah, I think because you're using your data to tell a story, the story of your business, how it grew, there are going to be inherent biases. You may not intentionally do it, but for example, if you use an average, that's going to hide some details. And the details around it are going to be sort of scrutinized at some point in the due diligence process. So therefore, cohorts is actually the better way of looking at it, because you can see sort of the history of the older cohorts all the way up to the newer ones. And so that bias hopefully can be mitigated.
We definitely love if founders tell a great story. The risk of that is that often they like to skip over the negatives, and you should definitely go present your startup in the best possible way. But most, at least good VCs, will do their own work to validate all of this, and you should know what they will be looking for. And having Deepdive as an unbiased platform to show you how are they going to be evaluating your business will show you what's coming.
Yeah, and as a former founder myself, I know going into this process of a due diligence process is like a template. There's a certain expectation of things that you need to do, and your pitch deck is based on someone else's pitch deck that you had access to. And so all of the process of trying to fundraise is built on trying to conform to that particular template of metrics that we expect here at Headline and other VCs. We just want you to know we know it's hard, right? And so hopefully something like a deep dive, a dashboard can help you along that way, help you understand your business, and hopefully make it a less difficult process. So thank you, Nick, for sharing that. And if you like what you hear, please comment below. We'll try to answer you as best as we can. Take care.